What's up, Cowboys Nation? The Dallas Cowboys win 33-13 in Week 14 on Sunday night against the NFL's best team with the best record. Let's celebrate. Let's talk about it.
Prescott, touchdown. Throw, look at middle, sacked again by Parsons again. CD Lamb, was he down? They say no for now, and he's into the end zone.
Man, tonight is a good night. The Dallas Cowboys take care of business, man. That's an understatement, is saying that the Dallas Cowboys took care of business. They took out the trash on Sunday Night Football, obliterating the Philadelphia Eagles, the Philadelphia Frauds. I told you, man. I was telling you all week, and thank you so much for watching my pregame prediction videos and watching everything. If you found me on TikTok or Instagram or X, I told you, stats don't lie. You look at this team, this Eagles team are a bunch of frauds, man. A bunch of frauds. And media, they don't watch the games like we do. They don't watch the games. They just look at it from a naked eye perspective, and they see what they see, and they see the best record in the NFL. But it's so much more than that. And we've seen in the past 2 weeks, the Eagles are overrated, and they have been exposed, losing to the 49ers 42-19, and then losing to the Dallas Cowboys 33-13. They have been outscored in those past 2 weeks, and now they're on a 2-game losing streak. And I told you guys exactly what was going to happen even before the Seattle Seahawks game. I was going to tell you that these two things were going to happen, that the 49ers were going to beat the Cowboys, and the Cowboys were going to handle their business against the Eagles, because the Cowboys at this point are just a better team. On paper, on the field, they're well coached. Their chemistry is through the charts right now. The Dallas Cowboys are rocking. And with that being said, 5-game winning streak for the Dallas Cowboys, and this extends. And you know, we're getting into the meat and potatoes of the season, right? We're going down that stretch, and the Dallas Cowboys are one by one accomplishing something that has been on everybody's list. A lot of people have been looking at this team wondering, you know, when it was the Seahawks, they were wondering, hey, can they beat a team over 500? Well, boom, done, signed, sealed, delivered. We beat them. They were 6-5. Now they're 6-6, and now they're 6-7 because they lost to the 49ers, but they didn't have Geno Smith. They had Drew Lock as their quarterback today. But now we take on the Philadelphia Eagles, and just watch, man. They're going to move those goalposts. I mean, they had everyone, right? They had A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. They even had Jalen Hurts, the MVP front runner for a lot of people, thinking that he should be MVP, but not after tonight. And they even have Shaq Leonard, right? He visited Dallas. He thought he was going to come to Dallas, but he just fooled us, and he went to Philadelphia. And he was so audacious to go out there and say, well, you know what? I chose Philadelphia because they got some dogs on their defense. Well, guess what? Our defense took it personally and had 3 takeaways against this offense. Something that I've been very adamant about seeing this team get back into is their takeaways, right? They've been on a stretch where they weren't really getting the ball. They weren't taking the ball. They weren't forcing turnovers. They were getting interceptions, but they weren't being physical and getting fumbles, which is something I really love to see. Man, I'm just going to ramble off the top of my head, and you comment down below. You interrupt me. You let me know what your favorite thing about tonight was, because this is a game that we need to bookmark and celebrate, and there's nothing that no one can take away from Cowboys Nation tonight and from this team. We beat, by everyone's standards, the best team in the National Football League, and we've been hearing it all season long, all off season long, about how they're the best. And we tried to tell them back in week 9, right? When they beat us by 5 points and we almost stole a game in Philly. We're like, just watch. We're better than you. And tonight we proved it. So don't let them take that away from you tonight. The Dallas Cowboys and their fan base and their team and their players have every right to celebrate this game, because we've been hearing about it nonstop for the past couple of weeks. People moving goalposts, people saying Dak's MVP conversation shouldn't be legitimate because this or that. And the Cowboys aren't really that good of an offense, and they're not really that good of a team, and they're not that really good of a defense because of this and that. Well, the Dallas Cowboys shut up every single one of those critics and those haters, because they beat what a lot of people consider to be the best team in the National Football League, not only in the NFC East, not only in the NFC, but the best team in the NFL, and we handed it to them 33-13, and might as well have been 33-6, because Dak Prescott got stripped and that ball went back. But this high-powered offense, led by this apparent MVP frontrunner with Jalen Hurts and their high passing attack with Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown, And oh yeah, they got Dallas Goedert back. They only put up 6 points tonight. Don't you forget that. They only put up 6 points. They never touched the end zone. Their offense never touched the end zone. They had to kick 2 field goals. Their best offensive player on the night was their kicker, Jake Elliott. Don't let anyone take this away. The Dallas Cowboys stood on business, handled their business, and they beat the Philadelphia Eagles. And I feel so liberating to get this off of our backs. And this is something so important that we should remember. And I told you guys in my pregame prediction video, when you look at the modern Dallas Cowboys, there are wins that we should definitely be able to hang our hats on, because a lot of people didn't think we could beat those teams or, do whatever and be successful against those teams. And tonight is one of those nights. And this is something to be proud of. This is something to be proud of if you're a Cowboys fan. I mean, everything that they did tonight was something to be proud of. And a couple players I'm super proud of, right? Stephon Gilmore. Stephon Gilmore had his best game as a Dallas Cowboy, and may just be his best game ever as a Dallas Cowboy, when the lights were on and the pressure was on and the nation was watching in the primetime slot, Sunday Night Football against a 10-2 football team coming to our stadium. Stephon Gilmore locked down A.J. Brown. Now, A.J. Brown did get some garbage stats, right? 9 receptions, 94 yards, but Stephon Gilmore owned A.J. Brown most of the night, stripping the football from him and limiting A.J. Brown most of the night. And just a really physical game from Stephon Gilmore. And once again, reminding everyone why at one point he was the Defensive Player of the Year. And I say it with Deron Bland, right? The NFL messed up when they allowed the Dallas Cowboys to draft Deron Bland. But the NFL really did mess up when they allowed us to basically steal Stephon Gilmore away from the Indianapolis Colts for a simple compensatory pick that we sent over to Indianapolis. And the Dallas Cowboys were able to acquire him. And, hats off to our secondary stepping in while Trayvon Diggs has been injured since week 3 before the Arizona Cardinals game. Obviously, Deron Bland setting an NFL record, but Stephon Gilmore setting the tone and being that guy. And, before we continue talking about the defense and the offense, we do have to speak about special teams, because Brandon Aubrey joined NFL history tonight. And a lot of us have to eat crow on this one, because including myself, and you guys know me, I'm unbiased and realistic, and I'm not too scared to say that when I was wrong or anything like that. And I was wrong. I was really nervous about the kicking position for the Dallas Cowboys heading into the season. And we all got to tip our hat to Mike McCarthy and Fossil, the special teams coordinator, the special teams coach, and Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones for trusting in this kid named Brandon Aubrey, who technically is a rookie, and he's perfect right now in the National Football League in terms of kicking field goals. And tonight he becomes the first NFL player in history to hit 2 field goals of 59-plus yards, hit a 59-yarder, a 60-yarder right down the middle, and he had some leg. I mean, he could have gone a few more yards, and that's just been an incredible weapon for the Dallas Cowboys, knowing, and you could see it too when Mike McCarthy had to kick that second field goal or make that decision. He was like, I was still questioning about on the play call, right? He drew up a toss to Rico Dowdle, or I believe it was Tony Pollard. I'm thinking 3rd and 25. What are you doing? Why are we running the ball? We got to play to win. But he was just like, hey man, I trust our kicker. He's gonna make this. He's gonna make this go further. He's gonna extend this lead, and they did, 30-13. And Brandon Aubrey had an incredible night, and he's an All-Pro, Pro Bowler. Just an incredible night for Brandon Aubrey as he continues this Cinderella season, 4 of 4, and just an incredible night for Brandon Aubrey. So tip your hat. And of course, Mike McCarthy, right? Mike McCarthy has got some toughness. He's got some toughness inside of him, because earlier this week, right, he had appendicitis, a case of acute appendicitis, went in, got surgery, came back, and was ready. And he called I wouldn't, unbiased and realistic, I don't think it was his best game that he called, especially coming out of the second half. A little bit conservative in some of those parts. I would have loved him to be a little bit more aggressive and drive the ball down a little bit further, attacking the seams, attacking the middle. But regardless, for him to show up on the sideline again and lead this team to a great coaching effort that led to 33 points, you have to give Mike McCarthy credit. Not only for that, this is the 10th win of the season. So this is the third straight season, that the Dallas Cowboys would have gone on 10-plus wins led by Mike McCarthy. Do not forget that. It's been 3 straight seasons that we have won back-to-back 10-plus wins, and the 2 seasons before having 12 wins on the season. That should not be understated. And that's something I've been wanting for the Dallas Cowboys for the longest time, because I felt like when Jason Garrett was coach, right, we would have a great season, and then when we would regress the next season, we'd barely be 500, or we'd have a catastrophic season. But Mike McCarthy has brought a winning culture back to Dallas, and he's building on it each and every year. To win 12 games to win 10 plus games in 3 straight seasons, that is an absolute masterclass in coaching by Mike McCarthy, and it's a hats off to this entire coaching staff, and to be able to also do it while you're making a big coaching change when you don't have Kellen Moore, because those first 2 seasons we had Kellen Moore. Now we have Mike McCarthy being the play caller, and then Brian Schottenheimer being the offensive coordinator, and DQ still being the defensive coordinator, still maintaining that level of excellence, and then doing it against the opponents that we are beating the Seahawks last week, and then now beating the Philadelphia Eagles. So hats off to Mike McCarthy. Definitely always got to compliment the coaching staff and all of that. And be sure to comment down below what you felt about this game, how special where's your confidence level with the Dallas Cowboys right now? Because for me, it's sky high. And I told you guys that this was going to be decisive. And if you just looked at the Philadelphia Eagles, I mean, they've been riding high on this incredible high since the playoffs, right? Because if they actually saw someone in the playoffs that wasn't the Giants and wasn't the 49ers without Brock Purdy, are we even having the same discussion about the Philadelphia Eagles? Granted, they've taken care of the teams that they should, like I've mentioned in my pregame prediction video. They beat the Chiefs, right? But the Chiefs aren't what they are. The Chiefs aren't the Super Bowl champions that we saw last year. They're struggling big time finding help for Patrick Mahomes. And the Bills, they're just going to fight, right? They're just going to claw and fight and find their way to win, but there's no necessary structure there. There's no championship structure in Buffalo. They're just going to make it really hard for you. And so, granted, the Philadelphia Eagles come into this game 10-2, but they got walked over by the San Francisco 49ers. They had the chance to solidify themselves as a contender and as the top dog, not only in the NFC and the NFL, by beating the 49ers and the Cowboys, who are the other 2 teams that people like to talk about when you're talking about the top teams in the NFC. And they got completely dog-walked by both of them, losing to the Niners 42-19 at home, and then going on the road, losing 33-13 against the Dallas Cowboys. So, overrated. Philadelphia Eagles are overrated. They're frauds. They're fraudulent, just like I've been telling you all season long, and it's great to finally see that, and I hope it comes to light. And I never want to hear Jalen Hurts' name in the MVP conversation again, even if he dog walks the next 4 opponents, which, we got to count on one of those teams beating them, especially the Giants. We got Giants DeVito time. We need to see him come back here. But let's talk about Dak Prescott. And this is really something special to see. Dak Prescott, 24-39, 271 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. My prediction was that he was going to throw over 225 yards. He got that, and he got 2 touchdowns on the dime right there. And I really liked the game. I felt like I think I knew he was going to have a great game just based on that first drive and how he was moving outside of the pocket. You could see it from that first play, and it might be this thing that I look at when in terms of the film breakdown. But you can see from that first play when he rolls out of the pocket, he just felt a sense of comfortability. And he felt confident, and he knows, and we know that when Dak uses his leg to maybe extend the play, or find a different wide receiver, or get out of pressure, we know Dak is really good when he does that. And once I saw that on the first drive, I was like, yeah, I think he's feeling himself. I think this is really going to be a good game. And there was never a point where I was necessarily nervous. I just always felt confident about this team handling this game at home against the Eagles, because the Cowboys, in all facets of the football, they are better. And this was such a super satisfying game to watch. And if you guys have been watching the videos, I tell you, I'm unbiased and realistic, but there's 2 teams that can really get rid of that brand that I've created. It's the Los Angeles Lakers and it's the Philadelphia Eagles. I hate both those teams with a huge passion. And so to get a big win like this over them is tremendous. And I'm telling you, man, I'm so excited about this win. And Dak Prescott, man, just continuing that MVP conversation. And you know, a lot of people said, okay, you're having a good season, but can you beat the good teams? Okay, he beat a good team by your standards, a team over 500. He also put up 41 points against the Seattle Seahawks, and he led a game-winning drive to win that. Okay, that's off the MVP resume. What was the next thing on the list? Oh, can he beat a contender? Can he beat a really good team? Well, the Philadelphia Eagles were 10-2. They came to Dallas. They were, by all standards to a lot of people, the best team in the NFL because they just only look at the record and they think that they're the best team in the NFL. Well, he threw over 250 yards against that team and threw 2 touchdowns, 0 turnovers, and had a game-clinching throw down the field to Michael Gallup. And when he needed to put the game away before halftime, he went down with the minute and 48 seconds and got the touchdown to Brandon Cooks, or hit that post to Brandon Cooks that set up the touchdown. And I mean, Dak Prescott, he's crossing these things off that everyone is, you know, somehow magically making this MVP list saying, like, you need to do this, you need to do that. Well, Dak Prescott's doing all of it. And Dak Prescott, like I said, I think if he won this game tonight with the Dallas Cowboys, that really puts him in a very strong running. And for me, personally, I feel like he should be considered number 1, or at least we should see his name at the number 1 list as of tomorrow. It might be a toss-up with Brock Purdy, but I mean, come on, Brock Purdy played the Seattle Seahawks without Geno Smith, with Drew Lock. But Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys took down the 10-2 Philadelphia Eagles. And, you know, just a couple of, you know, and that's all I really got to say about this game. Don't let anyone take this away from you. This is a really great win for the Cowboys franchise and the Dallas Cowboys fan base. We've been waiting for this win. We've been waiting for this win because we know what kind of team we have. We know what they're capable of. And for them to go out and prove it on the biggest stage in front of a national audience, in front of everyone watching, against one of the better teams in the NFL, this is something to be proud of. And let me tell you something. The Dallas Cowboys are not done. They are not done. They're 10-3. They are just getting started because they got the Buffalo Bills. They got the Miami Dolphins, both games on the road. Then they got the Detroit Lions, who are slowly fading away because they dropped the game to the Chicago Bears. Then you got the Washington Commanders. So you're looking at a team that could at least get 2 more wins and be at 12-3, and then those other 2 games, right, with Buffalo and Miami, you know, have at it. But this team, be proud of this team tonight. That's all I got to say. With the extra rest that they got, they handled their business. They took care of a really good team, in my opinion. Overrated, fraudulent, but they are, you know, they have won some games, and they did go to the Super Bowl last year. So please comment down below how you feel about this game. I feel great. I feel energetic. I feel amazing about this team, and this is a great place to be, and the Cowboys have done a lot to get to this place, and we were in a dark place with the San Francisco 49ers game. I never really jumped off it. You know, I was always believing in this team, but that was a dark place early on in the season, and ever since, they have answered the call, they have answered the bell, and they have, you know, answered the critics, and they have played for each other, and this is a really fun team to be watching right now. But be sure to like and subscribe. Again, comment down below your player of the game, who you thought had the play of the game, and how you feel about this Dallas Cowboys team moving forward as of Week 14 after topping off the Philadelphia Eagles at home, beating them 33-13. But I'll see you guys later this week. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more Cowboys content, and follow me wherever you see me on social media platforms, Twitter or X, TikTok, and Instagram. And I'll see you next time. Go Cowboys.
Prescott